Good evening. You're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Saraya Mia. The Regent of Johor, Tunku Ismail Sultan Ibrahim, has urged the police to conduct a thorough investigation into an incident where one of his security escorts allegedly assaulted a disabled e-hailing driver outside a hotel in Kuala Lumpur. In a post on X, Tunku Ismail says he did not condone any illegal action or intimidation. He urged authorities to take action in accordance with the law and give the victim justice. He added that he was only informed on the incident on May 29th, the day after it occurred, following which he instructed his team of police escorts to cooperate with the investigation. Tunku Ismail added that he's also aware that there is a movement to drag the royal institution using this incident. But to link the actions of an external security personnel with him and the entire royal institution is uncalled for. Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim says the government plans to eradicate hardcore poverty in Sabah by the end of July. Speaking at the state's Keamatan celebration in Penampang, the Prime Minister is confident that the target can be achieved as the number of heads of households in the hardcore poor category in Sabah has now dropped to just 9,000 from 20,000 previously.
Kemiskinan itu mengambil masa untuk diselesaikan. Kemiskinan tegar ni maknanya uniform sekolah tak mampu dibeli. Makan minum atau susu untuk bayi mungkin ada masalah. Sebab itu tanggungjawab kerajaan persekutuan bersama negeri untuk menoktahkan kemiskinan tegar. Kita mahu noktahkan kemiskinan tegar di negeri Sabah ini sebelum akhir Julai 2024.
Aside from efforts to eradicate hardcore poverty, the state is looking into resolving the issue of dilapidated schools and problems with water supply, especially since they involve allocations approved by the federal government.
China will extend visa-free travel for Malaysian tourists from 15 to 30 days. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi made the announcement during the celebration of the 50th anniversary of Malaysia-China diplomatic relations today.
Zahid said he had raised the matter during his meeting with Chinese Premier Li Qiang on Thursday. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim previously announced a 30-day visa exemption for tourists from China and India from December 1st, 2023. Meanwhile, Zahid revealed that Malaysia plans to increase the supply of skilled workers to meet the needs of Chinese companies looking to invest in the country. The Rural and Regional Development Minister is on his first official visit to China from May 22nd until June 1st.
The median monthly wages for the private sector increased 4.9% year-on-year to 2,900 ringgit in December 2023. This is according to the Department of Statistics Malaysia DOSM's quarterly employee wages statistics from the formal sector report for the fourth quarter of last year.
Chief Statistician Datuk Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin said the number of Malaysian formal employees stood at 6.67 million persons in December, an increase of 1.8% year-on-year. Male formal employees accounted for 55.5% of the total, or equivalent to 3.7 million persons in December. The median monthly wages for male formal employees stood at 2,945 ringgit. Meanwhile, female formal employees, which comprised 44.5%, received 2,845 ringgit. Those aged 45 to 49 years old were in the age group that received the highest median monthly wages, standing at 3,927 ringgit in December, whereas the median monthly wages for formal employees under 20 years old were 1,500 ringgit in December, remain unchanged for 19 consecutive months. All states also witnessed a positive year-on-year growth in median monthly wages in the last 3 months of 2023.
Civil society organizations are urging the government to honor its commitment to protect women's rights, as outlined in the UN Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. They call for greater efforts to address Malaysia's slow progress over the last 30 years.
The ministry also cannot work in silos because it needs to get information and data from all the other various ministries, right? And of course, with the Official Secrets Act, most other ministries were also not sharing information. So it's a real struggle to get data, to get updates on all the different policies and how it's been impacting. Yes, there has been some development when it comes, or improvement when it comes to women's human rights. But if we look back to 1995, 2006, 2018, most of the issues remain. Right? So, and the other thing I think that is very, very critical is to understand not just political will and the related mechanism, we're also talking about budgeting. How much of money is actually going into women's human rights? How much of it is going into reporting on women's human rights, monitoring the status of women's human rights, monitoring the policies, right? So budget is a huge constraint.
Malaysia submitted its periodic CEDAW report for review in Geneva, Switzerland on May 22nd. It was the third time the country presented its progress on women's human rights since joining CEDAW in 1995. The CEDAW CSO coalition, comprising various Malaysian NGOs, noted that not all recommendations by the CEDAW committee had been implemented, highlighting the need for further improvements. They called for ongoing research and urgent action on issues affecting women in Malaysia, including the lack of progress in ending female genital mutilation and child marriage. The coalition stressed the need for stronger political will to eliminate discrimination against those with disabilities, mothers with foreign spouses, refugees, asylum seekers, and indigenous women and girls, among others. They also said it was important to ensure diversity and representation of all affected communities in engagement sessions.
We'll take a quick break. Stay tuned for more.
Korang, satu benda yang aku tersangatlah pasti dan yakin, Eras memangnya radio nombor 1 paling legit.
Betul! Dengan 4.5 juta pendengar, tanpa bergabung, legit lah kita nombor 1!
Ini berdasarkan kaji selidik pendengar radio GFK gelombang pertama 2024. Semua data dipersetujui oleh Radio Komersial Malaysia.
Sebab korang,
Era kekal nombor 1
di Malaysia.
Welcome back. More trash-filled balloons from North Korea are expected to land in the south from June 1st. An official from the Joint Chiefs of Staff says this is due to forecasts of northern winds over the weekend.
The official advised the public not to touch the balloons if spotted and to report them to the authorities. Seoul's military also revealed that Pyongyang attempted to jam GPS signals for the third day in a row on Friday, but it did not disrupt army operations. North Korea launched some 260 balloons attached to bags of rubbish that included batteries, cigarette butts and manure from May 28th to 29th. While Seoul condemned the move, Pyongyang defended its actions as retaliation for balloons containing anti-North Korean propaganda sent by activists in the south. The sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un added that the country was simply exercising its freedom of expression, a rationale Seoul has given for activists' actions in the past.
At least 15 people have died of suspected heat stroke in the eastern Indian states of Bihar and Odisha, while temperatures in northwest and central India are expected to fall over the next few days. The heat wave gripping the eastern region is forecast to continue until the weekend.
Odisha reported 10 deaths, while Bihar recorded 5 deaths due to sunstroke. The Odisha government has banned its employees from outdoor activities between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m, when temperatures peak. The India Meteorological Department declares a heat wave when the temperature is 4.5 to 6.4 degrees Celsius higher than normal. India has been grappling with scorching heat with one area of the capital, Delhi, recording the country's highest ever temperature of 52.9 degrees Celsius this week. Delhi's sweltering temperatures have caused birds and wild monkeys to faint or fall ill, with the city's zoo relying on pools and sprinklers to help its 1,200 animals. Meanwhile, the northeastern states of Manipur and Assam have been battered by heavy rains in the wake of Cyclone Ramal, with several areas inundated as of Friday.
South African parties are gearing up for coalition talks as the governing African National Congress ANC looks set to fall well short of a majority for the first time in 30 years of democracy. With over 60% of the results counted, the ANC had 42% of votes.
The pro-business Democratic Alliance was in second place with 23.4% of the votes, while the MK Party, a new party led by former President Jacob Zuma, was at 11.3% and eating into ANC support. While the ANC, party of the late Nelson Mandela, looked likely to remain the largest political force, voters appear to have punished the former liberation movement for years of decline. Over the last decade, South Africans have watched the economy stagnate, unemployment and poverty climb, and infrastructure crumble, leading to regular power outages. The Electoral Commission of South Africa has said that it hopes to finish capturing voting results today, but official results are not expected to be announced before Sunday. The statement comes despite the glitches experienced on the Commission's systems across the country in the morning.
Donald Trump has been found guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business records in his criminal trial in New York. This marks the first time a former U.S. president has been convicted of a crime.
The court had heard from 22 witnesses over 6 weeks, including Stormy Daniels, whose alleged sexual encounter with Trump was at the center of the case. Trump will be sentenced on July 11th and could face jail time. The former president has described the verdict as a disgrace, claiming that the trial was rigged. It comes as he campaigns to defeat Joe Biden in November's elections and make a return to the White House. He had secured the Republican presidential nomination earlier this year and is due to be crowned at the party's convention just days after his sentencing. Imprisonment would not legally prevent him from campaigning or taking office should he win. Trump also faces 3 other criminal cases for conspiring to overturn his 2020 election loss and mishandling classified information after leaving office. He has pleaded not guilty to all of them.
What happened? Do you want to tell us what happened?
3 people, including a police officer, were killed after they were struck by gunfire in the U.S. city of Minneapolis. Authorities said 3 others, including another police officer and a firefighter, were also injured at the scene. It was reported that the individuals were killed after a gunman opened fire at the Whittier neighborhood south of downtown Minneapolis. Following this, the suspected shooter was also shot dead. As of 8:30 p.m., city officials said there was no ongoing threat to the public after the shooting, but urged residents to avoid the area as investigation continues. The bloodshed would mark the first Minneapolis police officer shot and killed in the line of duty in more than 20 years. That's all we have for you on AWANI tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Saraya Mia, and good night.